Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're trying to find a shortcut, maybe, to some really profound universal truths.
That's the goal.
Our mission is to unpack the 7 Hermetic principles. They sound mysterious, maybe transformative.
Definitely transformative, according to the tradition.
We're using insights from an audio source, excerpts from the 7 Hermetic principles, hermeticism.mp3. It seems like a unique way into this ancient wisdom.
It really is.
Okay, let's unpack this then. It feels a bit like finding a secret map, to how everything works.
Right at your fingertips, potentially.
And these universal laws, the source says if you truly get them, apply them, they can bring, well, unimaginable transformation.
Yeah, what's fascinating is how these teachings, they're seen as the roots of just so many spiritual, esoteric, even occult practices.
Really? From when?
From ancient Egypt all the way to today. And they don't just offer, like, abstract ideas.
No.
No, they promise to transform every single area of your life.
Okay, so if we're talking a secret map, we need to talk about the map maker, right?
Makes sense.
Who was this mysterious figure, Hermes Trismegistus. He's called the Master of Masters. Why is he so foundational?
Well, Hermes Trismegistus,
Yeah.
the name itself means Hermes the thrice greatest. He's definitely enigmatic.
How so?
He pops up in Egyptian mythology as the god Thoth,
Okay.
and in Greek mythology as the god Hermes.
Right, the messenger god.
Exactly. But the legends, they say he actually lived in ancient Egypt before all that, before he was seen as a god.
As a person.
Yeah, described as the first great Egyptian philosopher, maybe the founder of the ancient mystery schools.
Wow. And Thoth, what was he credited with?
Essential knowledge, really. Things like writing, numbers, and what the source calls the arts of self-cultivation through works of consciousness.
Meaning?
Practices to expand your awareness, your inner being, self-improvement maybe, but on a deeper level.
So he wasn't just like a historical footnote.
Yeah.
He's seen as this legendary giver of fundamental human tools.
Pretty much, yeah.
And this wisdom. How did he get it? Did he just figure it out?
Well, the story goes he received it during deep meditative trances.
Ah, okay.
And this supposedly led him to write, get this, over 40 books.
40. Where are they?
Well, that's the mystery. Among them, the Book of Thoth is especially intriguing.
Why is that?
It's said to reveal the secrets of the universe, things like awakening certain brain areas, the secrets of the incarnation process. Really deep stuff.
And could anyone just read it?
Apparently not. Only specially trained priests like Imhotep, the famous architect and physician, were allowed access.
So where is this book now? This Book of Thoth?
Huh, the million-dollar question. Physically, no one knows. Some even think it exists on the astral plane.
Meaning not a real book.
Maybe not a physical object, no. More like something you access by traveling in your consciousness.
Yeah.
Through deep meditation or maybe out-of-body experiences.
It's like an ancient form of channeling or tapping into some universal source.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Rather than reading words on a page.
Yeah.
And Hermes' knowledge was supposedly vast: medicine, chemistry, law, magic, philosophy.
Everything.
Which is why the Egyptians apparently called him a communicator with the gods.
That's quite a legacy. So whether he was a real person, flesh and blood, or maybe more of a powerful archetype for this ancient wisdom,
Right.
the teachings themselves clearly left this huge mark. You can see echoes in so many religions and spiritual paths.
Absolutely.
But, for some people listening, ancient mystery schools, astral planes, it might sound a bit out there.
I get that. It can sound mystical, for sure.
How do we connect that ancient stuff to, our modern lives?
That's a really good point. What's crucial, I think, is focusing on the principles themselves. They're the core that endures.
Okay.
These fundamental teachings, the 7 Hermetic principles, they were compiled in a book called the Kabbalion.
The Kabbalion. Who wrote that?
Another mystery.
Yes.
It's attributed to the 3 initiates. Anonymous? But these teachings, these principles, they contain basic truths about the world, the laws governing our material life, our spiritual life. And they are passed down, teacher to student, for thousands of years.
Why? Because they worked.
Precisely because they offer practical insights, regardless of the whole mythical origin story.
Got it. And these principles, these are the keys to that secret map we talked about.
Yep.
The promise is if you understand them, apply them, align with them, you get insights into the deeper spiritual nature of reality and potentially this unimaginable transformation.
That is the claim.
All right, let's unlock the first one then. Principle number 1,
Okay.
the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. the universe is mental.
Mm-hmm.
So this says that the underlying reality, everything, is this unknowable spirit, which we can think of as a universal, infinite living mind.
Right.
And the whole universe, everything we see and experience, is just a mental creation of this all.
That's the core idea.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wow. So if the entire universe is mental, what does that mean for, like, the power of our own minds, our thoughts? Can we really shape reality? Is this manifestation or something else?
It's foundational, truly. And yeah, it speaks directly to that question. Think about the placebo effect in medicine.
Right, where belief causes a physical change.
Exactly. Or how, collective thinking, like big social movements, can literally shape cultures and societies.
Okay.
This principle suggests those aren't just weird exceptions. They're how a mental universe works.
Yeah.
Our thoughts aren't just like fleeting things in our heads.
They're doing something.
They're participating in this universal creation, this universal mind.
Yeah.
It helps explain things like psychic phenomena, stuff that science often struggles with,
Right.
and lets you grasp these great mental laws, as the source calls them, to use for your own well-being, your own advancement.
So it's practical.
Very. The source calls it the master key
A master key.
to the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge. There's a quote from an old Hermetic text. He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery.
So understanding this is the first big step.
It's the gateway, yeah. Understanding that everything is fundamentally mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the leap.
That reframes everything.
Oh, man.
But if it's all mind, how does that actually, manifest? How does it work in practice? How do we see it everywhere?
Good question. Which leads us perfectly into the second principle.
Okay.
Do it. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above.
Ah, I've heard that phrase before. As above, so below.
It's probably the most famous Hermetic maxim.
So what does it mean exactly?
It means there's always a connection, a parallel between the laws and phenomena on different levels of reality.
Different levels, like what?
Material, mental, spiritual, big and small.
Hmm.
The cosmos and the individual.
Okay.
The principle suggests you can use it to solve dark paradoxes and hidden secrets of nature. Think of it like the fractal nature of reality. You see similar patterns repeating at different scales.
Like a coastline's shape or a tree's branches.
Exactly.
Right.
That kind of thing. It lets you reason intelligently from the known to the unknown. The text compares it to geometry, how we can measure distant stars just by using math here in an observatory.
So understanding one level helps you understand another?
Precisely. The ancient Hermeticists apparently thought this was one of their most important mental tools. It let them pry aside the obstacles which hid from view the unknown.
Wow.
They even said it helped them tear aside the veil of Isis, the Egyptian goddess of mystery, to glimpse the face of the goddess.
Which is a dramatic way of saying.
They used it to find profound hidden connections, to understand how the universe worked on all these interconnected levels.
That's fascinating. It really makes you look at everything differently, searching for those patterns.
So the question becomes, what hidden connections might you discover in your own life, in the world, if you start looking through this lens of correspondence?
Yeah, good question. Okay, so everything is connected, patterns repeat. But what is everything actually made of? And how does it behave, move?
That brings us neatly to number 3,
Which is?
the principle of vibration. Nothing is resting, everything is moving, everything vibrates.
Okay, this one feels familiar. Modern science talks about vibration, right? Atoms vibrating.
Exactly. This is where ancient wisdom and modern physics seem to shake hands. Everything is in motion, constantly vibrating. Nothing is truly still.
So the differences we see between things, like a rock versus light, or even thoughts,
They result from different rates of vibration. That's the key.
different speed.
Different frequencies, yeah.
Yeah.
The source says the all, pure spirit, vibrates infinitely fast. So fast it seems perfectly still.
Like a spinning wheel that looks motionless.
Exactly like that. And at the other end, you have gross matter vibrating very, very slowly.
And between those extremes,
Millions of degrees of vibration. Matter, energy, mind, spirit, all just different points on a vast vibrational spectrum.
so if everything vibrates, including our thoughts, our emotions, what does that mean for us? How do we use that? Like tuning into a desired reality?
This is where the real power comes in, according to the Hermeticists. Understanding this principle, really getting it, allows you to learn to control your own mental vibration.
Control our thoughts and feelings.
On a vibrational level, yes.
No.
And potentially even influence the vibrations of others, though that gets complex. Masters, it said, can even use this principle to affect natural phenomena.
Wow.
The source states quite powerfully, he who understands the principle of vibration has grasped the scepter of power.
The scepter of power.
It's not just poetic language. It means that truly understanding and applying this principle gives you incredible conscious control over your personal reality.
Wow.
Your emotional state, your dominant thoughts, they aren't just abstract feelings, they're actual frequencies. By consciously shifting your internal vibration,
You change the frequency.
you're literally tuning into a different reality channel, influencing what you attract, what you experience, what resonates with you.
Okay, that completely changes how I think about, thinking and feeling.
It's a big shift.
So if everything vibrates, that implies variations,
Yeah.
differences. What about opposites? Like hot and cold, love and hate. Are they truly separate things?
That leads directly into the next one. Number 4.
Let's hear it.
4. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites.
Okay.
Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled.
Whoa, that's a mouthful. Break that down.
It basically means everything has two sides, two poles, two opposite aspects.
Like north and south.
Exactly. But here's the twist. Those opposites are actually just two extremes of the same thing.
The same thing. How?
They just differ in degree in their rate of vibration. Going back to the last principle, think about heat and cold.
Yeah, they seem opposite.
But are they really different things? Or just different degrees on the thermometer, different levels of the same energy?
Ah, I see. It's a spectrum.
Precisely. Same with light and darkness, just degrees of light.
Oh.
Large and small, black and white. It's all relative. Points on a continuum.
Okay, that makes sense for physical things. What about mentally, emotionally?
That's where it gets really profound. The source uses the example of love and hate.
Definitely feel like opposites.
Totally. But the principle says there are degrees of the same underlying thing, just different vibrational states on the same spectrum. Have you ever felt maybe a rapid shift, like intense dislike for someone? Then maybe you understand them better and suddenly feel empathy, maybe even affection.
Yeah, that happens. Sometimes involuntarily.
The principle suggests it's even possible to consciously change the vibrations, to transmute hate into love within yourself, or maybe even influence others, using will and specific Hermetic techniques or formulas.
Transmute, like alchemy for emotions.
Kinda, yeah. It suggests a powerful way to reconcile inner conflicts, to transform negative emotional states by understanding they aren't fixed realities, just points on a scale you can potentially move along.
So opposing forces are just different degrees of one thing.
It connects everything. What seems like a paradox often isn't when you see the underlying unity.
Okay, so we have poles, opposites on a spectrum. But things don't just sit still at those poles, do they? Life feels more dynamic.
Absolutely. And that movement between the poles is governed by the next principle. Number 5.
Which is?
5. The principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything.
Rhythm, like tides, seasons.
Exactly. It embodies that measured motion. Inflow, outflow, back and forth, high tide, low tide. It's the pendulum swinging between the two poles we just talked about, from polarity.
Action, reaction.
Advance, retreat, rising, sinking, it's everywhere.
Examples.
The creation and destruction of worlds, the source says. The rise and fall of nations, the life cycle of all things. And very noticeably, in our own mental states. Mood swings, energy levels.
Ups and downs, yeah, definitely feel that. So are we just stuck on this pendulum swinging back and forth?
Well, this is where the Hermetic approach gets interesting. They didn't try to stop the rhythm you can't,
Okay.
but they learned how to escape its effects on themselves, to use the rhythm instead of being used by it.
How do you do that?
The art of the Hermeticists, as the text calls it, involves something called polarization. You consciously fix yourself mentally at the point you want to be.
Like focusing on a positive state.
Exactly. And then you apply mental techniques to neutralize the pendulum's pull that would normally swing you back to the opposite pole, the negative state.
So you don't get dragged down by the low tide.
You learn to maintain your balance, your poise, and mental firmness, even as the tides of life ebb and flow around you. You achieve a kind of inner stability,
That sounds like real self-mastery, not letting the inevitable ups and downs totally derail you.
That's the goal, consciously navigating the rhythm.
Okay. Standing firm, consciously directing yourself. That idea of being active, not passive, seems key.
It absolutely is.
Which brings us to the idea of cause, why things happen. Let's move to number 6.
Right. 6, the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law.
Makes sense so far?
Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law.
Okay. Chance is but a name for law not recognized.
That's interesting. So no coincidences.
According to this principle, no. Nothing merely happens. Everything unfolds according to universal laws, even if we don't perceive the cause. What looks like chance is just ignorance of the underlying mechanism.
And many planes of causation.
Yeah, it suggests there are different levels of cause and effect operating simultaneously. Higher planes can influence or override lower ones.
Like mental causes affecting physical outcomes.
That kind of idea. But the key takeaway is nothing ever entirely escapes law. There's always a reason, always a cause, even if it's operating on a level we don't see.
So how does understanding this help us? Does it mean we're just puppets of cosmic laws?
Quite the opposite, actually. This principle implies a profound level of personal agency if you understand it.
How so? Hermeticists learn methods to, as the source puts it, rise above the ordinary plane of cause and effect
Mentally rise above.
by mentally ascending to a higher plane of consciousness. It's not about escaping the laws, but about working with them from a higher level, becoming causers instead of effects.
Okay, explain that.
Well, the text says the masses of people are carried along, obedient to their environment, their heredity, external suggestions. They're effects.
Reacting to things.
Right. But the masters, those who understand these principles, learn to dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, and even the environment around them. By operating from that higher mental plane, becoming a cause in their own lives. They help to play the game of life instead of being played and moved about by other wills and environment.
So it's about taking the reins, understanding the rules so you can play the game effectively, not just be a pawn.
Exactly. It encourages us to think about how much control, how much causation we can truly exert by understanding the laws at play.
That's a really empowering shift in perspective, from feeling tossed around by life to feeling like you're actually steering.
It's a fundamental shift, yeah.
All right. We've covered mind, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect. What's the last one? Number 7.
The final principle ties a lot together, especially around creation. 7, the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principle. Gender manifests on all planes.
Gender. So male and female.
Yes, but importantly, not just in the physical sense of sex. It's about the masculine and feminine principles being inherent in absolutely everything.
Principles like active and receptive.
Yeah, that's one way to think about it. Yang and yin, projective and receptive energies. These principles are constantly at work, not just on the physical plane,
but also
on the mental and even spiritual planes, where they take higher forms related to creation and generation.
So this isn't just about biological sex.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's about these fundamental dynamic creative forces that exist within everything.
How does that relate to the other principles? How does it fit into creating our reality?
Well, the source says no creation, physical, mental, or spiritual, is possible without this principle. It's the engine of generation, regeneration, creation.
Because you need both principles interacting.
Exactly. It also says every male thing contains the female element, and vice versa. It points to the balance and union needed for anything new to come into being.
So understanding this helps understand creation itself.
Yes. Understanding this principle is considered key to grasping the philosophy of mental and spiritual creation and regeneration. It's the dynamic interplay, the spark, that underlies all beginnings.
Wow. Okay, so those are the 7 Hermetic principles. Mind, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. It's a lot to take in.
It really is a comprehensive framework.
We've explored these incredible insights, these keys on the Hermetic map, but just knowing them, is that enough? What's the next step for someone listening beyond just, intellectual understanding?
That's the crucial point the source stresses again and again. Application.
Putting it into practice.
Absolutely. Knowing and internalizing these principles is important, yes. But it's even more important to actually apply their essence in your daily life. Make them part of how you think, how you act.
So it's not just mental gymnastics.
Not at all. The text is blunt.
Mm.
Knowledge itself is useless. Just accumulating facts is meaningless if it doesn't lead to personal development, if you don't apply it, internalize it, live it.
Right.
There's a distinction made. Wisdom is applied knowledge. Mastery only comes through continuous, conscious application.
And is there one principle that's maybe key for starting that application, especially in our physical reality?
The source highlights the principle of vibration as potentially the most powerful tool for mastery in the physical realm,
Vibration again. Why that one?
because it's something you can directly feel and learn to control. Your own state of vibration.
Your mood, your energy level.
Yes, and by mastering your personal vibrational state, the idea is you can start to change all other aspects of your life through conscious thought, using the principle of correspondence, which links the inner and outer. It's your inner vibrational state, your frequency, that becomes the tool to transform both your inner world and your outer world.
So you tune yourself first.
You actively choose your frequency. The source suggests you can consciously go into resonance with states like unconditional love and peace, like tuning a radio, and literally feel that vibration start to transform the world around you, or at least your experience of it.
Okay, so this isn't just about learning ancient ideas, it's about doing.
Exactly. Taking these truths and making them active conscious tools.
Mm.
Right now.
The source says something about radical action, right?
It does. Radical action is required on your way to become your greatest version. It's not passive.
This whole deep dive, then, it really shows that the power to change things, to transform our reality, it's right here within us, waiting for us to consciously activate it.
That's the core message. These Hermetic principles, they offer this incredibly coherent framework for understanding universal laws, but also for profound personal transformation.
Yeah.
They show how interconnected everything is.
Yeah.
It paints a picture of a universe that isn't random or chaotic, but an elegant system of laws that you can learn to work with.
Indeed. Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener.
Mm-hmm.
If your inner vibrational state truly is the master key, the way you shape your inner and outer world, what vibration will you consciously choose to cultivate starting today to unlock your greatest version in this physical reality?